he's made it very clear that he will go towards the highest win rate supports, and he's found success off of, like, a great example is Maokai. So let's see what the highest win rate supports that he could be choosing one. Oh my God.
Oh, it's still Maokai, and Maokai's not bad.
We've got Maokai and we've got Poppy. Zyra, that'd be interesting. I believe G2 played it, right?
It's just gonna be
and Zyra did get buffed on this patch also, so good times there.
Well, they first picked the Maokai, so that.
The second pick them high. We do not want to flex.
I was gonna be like, well, it could be going bot, but it could be going to Armao. But now that Vi locked in, we know it is already going bot. Numbers don't lie, as Olleh says always.
The rule is consistent, I guess. I mean. All right, but we do have the Kalista picked. I do think that there's a lot of options that you can have into the Kalista. So interesting to see IMT go for something like the Vi instead of something like the Poppy, which I kind of expect to see. But the Maokai also makes a lot of sense into Kalista to me. It's very hard to play versus that champ in a lot of situations.
Yeah, Kalista Renata for FlyQuest. Obviously, they were the #1 team. They had a letdown game yesterday against Shopify Rebellion. There was that whole distraction about Busio winning Player of the Week, saying he'd pick Pyke. Then he picks Blitzcrank to combo up with Smolder. There was just a lot of weird stuff going on in that game for FlyQuest. So I feel like going back here to Kalista Renata is a little bit of normalcy. And I agree with the sign. Bjerg should come back.
I just want to start shit.
I think it's pretty interesting for Massu though, because when I think, not that Kalista isn't great at team fights, because she is, but obviously I think of Massu, I don't necessarily think of him as a super lane dominant AD, and one thing I'd love to give him and Busio credit for thus far in this split is they've actually had a really strong, or stronger 2v2 than I had expected, having watched Massu in Challengers. I don't know if you agree with me, Kelsey.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think that it's cool to see it for sure, especially since Busio, his start, he also struggled a bit with the laning, but it's definitely something that they've clearly been working on a lot. I know that they 2v2 like their NACL bot line sometimes, just practice matchups and other things like that. The other thing, it's just it has to help a lot to have like this kind of level of mentorship, making sure that you level up very quickly.
With the Taliyah locked in there, it's really funny because earlier in the split, Mask was a victim to the Taliyah, like specifically Vi, as he was playing the Azir, getting hunted down by X-Use Vi. Now he's in the opposite side of things with the Taliyah Vi combo going up against Jensen's Azir. So that should be the focus for my IMT side, is that you're likely going to be tracking where the Azir is if he's on side lane, or just early on in the laning phase to try and get him off the map.
And tracking the rest of this draft, I mean, there is a little bit of difference in the champions they picked because Kalista Renata being a full bot lane locked in for FlyQuest, and Immortals, they do have the support, but there's so many AD carry bans that could be thrown towards Tactical. Tactical going into the week was leading the league in kills, basically got shut out yesterday though when Immortals lost. So I want to see them put him in a situation to succeed, and it's going to be tricky, right, when you're just picking your support off win rate and you're giving up Kalista Renata.
Well, they have picked a combo, a topside that makes it very difficult for the enemy AD to play, so you
that
could
helps.
argue
That's true.
that they're setting up Tactical for success, and I agree. He's been actually a very big shining star for IMT. We talked a lot about Olleh, but I think their bot lane in general has just been extremely stellar performance.
It's a really good pairing, Olleh with Tactical.
Makes it easier for them to play the bot side, which was, it seemed like, their expectation going into the split. So with the AD carry bans, actually only came in.
Yeah, no, they're just doing topside bans. This is the Bwipo party right here, trying to shut him out. Darius
Get
Sejuani.
the Darius out there. Sejuani's probably, hopefully against Inspired.
Udyr's fallen ridiculously far this draft.
Yeah, we are not seeing the Udyr yet. I'm very surprised, but I think it's definitely something that FlyQuest might look for.
Yeah.
And it's also something that Castle might look for, right? So I think in another one of their games, he had a really strong Udyr performance.
They're talking about Tactical's pick, or this isn't live. I imagine they're talking about Tactical's pick because he's hovering 80 carries.
Unbelievable.
Like against Bwipo, you want to take away his counter pick. So even though normally you'd save this for later.
I'm waiting for the onstage acting to see.
Wow.
Okay,
that can be bot lane TF.
It could be bot lane TF. It also could be AD TF top.
It could be Taliyah Maokai lane, maybe as well. It's unlikely, but it's a good chain.
Seems like the anti-Kalista comp.
I guess so.
Got gold card, rocks from Taliyah, Vi ultimate, or just in general Vi lockdown with the Maokai. Kalista just existing in fights is going to be difficult.
Yeah. But, I mean, on the other hand, FlyQuest, they do have a very solid comp. They're not necessarily reliant on Kalista to do a lot of damage because they have the Azir, they have the Udyr, and then they can always just throw in, and Renata will do well into the engage.
And I do want to mention that the TF can still be a flex. We saw Broken Blade picking Twisted Fate top lane earlier this morning. So while I fully believe it's bot lane, it still is treated as a flex here.
Yeah, it's something, ADTF is something we talked about on the previous patch. Again, you mentioned Broken Blade. I saw ADTF played, it was in mid lane, but it was like the Kraken Slayer build for Shochi in NACL a few days ago. And ADTF top is just something that has been spammed in solo queue a lot.
It could also be something tactical plays, though, as we lock the Ksante
instantly.
And it's bot lane ADTF.
Nice.
I can't remember the last ADTF in LCS.
Okay, so our stats guy is saying never.
Right.
He's also saying he doesn't think it's ever happened in professional League of Legends history. I'd love it if someone proves us wrong, because if not, this is super cool.
I think it definitely happened in season 2, for sure. People were running it all the time in my solo queue games, including myself.
Yeah, that was 12 years ago. So in the last decade.
Are you calling me old?
That's wild. I'm calling myself old.
I'm calling you old.
Okay, Immortals Cup, very fun. Absolutely 100%. I think still we're looking for a little bit of damage to fight with the FlyQuest Udyr, but I think Fly can take this still.
Either way, let's see if the ADTF pans out for Immortals. Casters, take it away.
Muchas gracias, chat. A historical first, y'all. AD Twisted Fate. The first time in League of Legends professional history we've seen Twisted Fate jungle from kick.
Patch, players more willing to try out new champs, new builds. And let me go over just what the actual changes were for attack damage Twisted Fate, because it was in 14.2 and didn't make its way to the stage till now, but they added some non-existent AD ratios to Q. Previously it was 0, now it's plus 50% of your bonus AD onto Q. They also added one onto the stacked deck, the E.75 of your bonus AD ratio. So pretty decent there, as well as adding the crit ratio onto your W. And critically, in my opinion, one of the biggest ones is increasing the base attack speed ratio, because the way that attack speed works in League of Legends, some of the champions are just not built for building attack speed, because the items are increasing your base attack speed. So if your base attack speed is terrible, then the attack speed items are going to be relatively worse for you. So now, with the increase in Twisted Fate's base attack speed, makes it even better building those items. And I will also say some of these changes do just make, regular AP Twisted Fate that people are playing like mid lane and, top lane as well sometimes is a bit better, because that often included a rapid fire cannon for the extended gold card. So all over, basically, Twisted Fate getting some nice buffs, just objectively better no matter what you're building than it was before. Obviously, way bigger of buffs for our full attack damage build, and that's why we're seeing Tactical try his hands at it. One of the big reasons, though, specifically picked here, is that you can, and Raz mentioned this, gold carding Kalista here puts a very quick stop to it. You have really reliable CC chains in Twisted Fate and Maokai on bottom side of the map, so maybe if they can get jungle down there. It's not going to happen early, obviously, because Armao started on his Wolves and then is clearing up towards top side, and he's currently getting counter jungled by Inspired, who wants to split the map and possibly look for an early dive.
Yeah, I mean, if you see a novelty pick like AD Twisted Fate, you want to shut it down as fast as possible, as Bwipo is already getting the priority. He went in early, got some early vision down onto Armao's Raptor camps, knowing that he started on the bot or started somewhere else, and now they want to pressure.
Yeah, especially with Bwipo going for the invade there on Udyr, proxy farming, like they're definitely just going to destroy this pick. Welcome to the LCS. AD carry Twisted Fate. You have, I believe, 1 CS still he's sitting at. Tactical does not even get to look at his minions. He does not, he cannot even ult down there right now. He's still level 1. Please pull up the CS again real quick. I just want to check. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 1 CS.
Oh man, this is brutal. Olleh has to do the majority of the farming for him. Olleh's level 2 tactical has been bullied off the experience range as well. This is
why players don't want to innovate, Raafaa, because like, oh man, I'm gonna pick the new pick here, and they just get targeted by the opponents. Big props to Inspired, though. You know, this is a guy that's in the running for MVP in the league every time he is in the league.
Yeah.
Regardless of which region he is in. Goes for the split map here. Wants to play off of the pushing early game here. Kalista Renata, one of the best, most aggressive duos that you can draft in the game, and they don't want to let Twisted Fate start to stack up the items. They don't want to let him, you know, get to the point where you have to worry about these CC chains that are going to come through. You know, Gold Card and Maokai and Vi into seismic shoves coming from the Taliyah, which definitely will become a problem later. But early game, really like the execution and the plan here from FlyQuest, from Inspired.
Just trying to put Tactical behind in levels, because once he has access to that level 6, this will be one of the few times where a marksman can roam and try to affect the sidelines, as Jensen might be in trouble from Mask. Does he want to look for a flash rock here? Does the rocks itself, the flash forward, the auto trying to connect? Oh, Mask not able to play it out correctly as Jensen just dodges, didn't even have to burn his own flash.
Definitely love it. Getting aggressive, going super deep, leaves behind a ward, and they see Inspired clearing out the control ward on the other side as well. So gets aggressive, blows his flash. I like the killer instinct, but now you're going to be a target.
Yep.
You are for sure going to have a huge target on your head, because once Jensen gets to level 6, Azir will shove you back.
Busio already in trouble, forced to flash away, but Olleh's flash is also expended as he's burning down from the Ignite. You can already see the kill lane setup though there. Gold card into Maokai's full CC route down under the tower, and now Mass might be in trouble. Inspired. Flash guaranteed the route on down. He should have enough damage here. Mass is nowhere to go, and he gives it over to Jensen for first blood.
They don't even wait for the Azir level 6. They don't even wait for that guaranteed punish. Inspired goes in, makes him look silly, flashes on him, hits the stun, back steps the seismic shove, which was the only hope that Mask had of living here. Nice little back step there. Just on the edge there, too. Doesn't waste any sort of time, gets right back in. So beautiful stuff again from Inspired. I guess we can continue to plug his MVP campaign with play after play for this game.
Yeah. I mean, one of the most iconic moments of Inspired's career was back on Rogue in the LEC when he got that pentakill on this Viego. And we talked about it during the draft as well. I, as a Viego player, would love to pick it into a team that has a bunch of point-and-click CC, because if you possess them after, then that is easy CC for you to start following and chaining those resets and Heartbreakers.
Yeah, ultimate very useful there as well. And one of the big things that, since there was so much action, we didn't super get to highlight on the invade that he did earlier and zoning off Twisted Fate. You even get more of a reward when you zone Twisted Fate away from the minions, because he has the built-in extra gold from the passive. So if you're CSing way less in this game, as you can see, still feeling that pain of losing so many minion waves early, you get even extra pain from losing out on the possible gold generation of your passive, which, by the way, was also buffed to add the critical strike synergy in there as well. Obviously, he didn't have any critical strike early on, but just look at how it's going to change the way this game plays out. Inspired gets to run the map. Bottom lane gets to continue to zone out Tactical and Olleh. They get the Dragon uncontested, and now we're going to get a lane gank.
Oh, Olleh looking for Busio. They know his flash is down from the turret dive before. Armao's there to follow up, and the bailout is not going to save him this time. Olleh pings up the kill. Looking for another gold card, but cannot get in range, and Inspired hovering to see if he needs to protect Massu from getting dove.
My cursing powers are in overdrive today.
They're incredible.
Had the ABA curse, got the bottom lane curse. Castle here gonna get a turret plate for himself with his, Bwipo, excuse me.
Massu? Oh, he's looking, he cleanses it! Massu! No way he gets out! It's a trade 1-for-1, but man, that was an NACL Challengers moment where Massu just, in the face of adversity, 1v2 and picks up a kill.
Yeah. They're going to go for the trade kill there. Does get him down, and he's going to keep his CS lead. Bwipo, that's Another turret plate that he earns on the top side in the face of Castle. Excuse me. Meanwhile, Inspired did escape that attempt on his life, only to get back into enemy jungler and continue counter jungling as well. We did the kind of look at both IMT and Boogie in the last game in their time spent in enemy territory. Inspired has just been living in both sides of the enemy jungle.
And just watch the timing of this cleanse too. It is frame perfect.
Boom. Gets the kill. Would have been super cool if he got out alive also, but getting the trade kill there and making sure that Tactical doesn't get any more at the turret either, still so big for him.
And I believe the last time you cast one of their games, it was with Kangas, and he told you the story about the Wi-Fi wizard, if I'm correct. For those that don't know yet, Massu, when he first started playing in Challengers, was on Wi-Fi, did not have an Ethernet cable from Toronto, and then it wasn't until a couple weeks in, FlyQuest were like, why do you have 120 ping? And he was just playing on Wi-Fi, and he eventually made the upgrade to Ethernet cable before coming in person to the FlyQuest studios themselves in LA. And you could see moments where he was so used to the Wi-Fi ping, he would pre-cleanse, timing it from that ping. But as he's gotten adjusted, this guy has insane reaction timings, insane hands. It's why he's such a hyped-up prospect.
Mechanics on point, but Ganks also on point.
3-on-2. I don't know if he can outplay this one. Wait, Busio, the Fate's Call has dragged him towards. They find Tactical on the back half. Maybe the bailout will give him enough time. The red stack, one more auto attack. Oh, it's so close, but Armao flashes out in time. He goes back in with the wall breaker. Busio is gonna survive as Inspired is there to protect him from further danger.
I really thought he was gonna get it there. Armeo's barely able to escape, and they get the flash down as well. So more summoner spells being burned down here. It is just gonna be a constant battle with the looks of it. Another attempt at a lane gank comes down here. Really good setup once again, as we mentioned. Maokai goes into the ultimate. The Renata ultimate getting off there. As it went through though, Busio got a really good timing on that one, and then he really saves the bailout to get the maximum from it here. And even with that flash, barely finished off in time. That was by the slimmest of margins there. Almost had the really big outplay in the 2v3.
Oh man, you can see it's so slight. He was like, oh man, it was so close. And Massu there, you almost had it, buddy. You're getting there, you're getting better every time I see you on stage in the LCS. Bwipo now just making life difficult for Castle, doing Udyr proxy things. The second rotation of Grubbies have spawned. Armao's in the area, but he doesn't have Prow from either of his mid or top lane at the moment, so it would not be safe for him to go for it quite yet.
Bottom lane really got that main character action going though. Even though the camera's on the top lane and Bwipo just keeps farming turret plates, bottom lane has really been the hotspot for the action. As you mentioned, it was Inspired again, going for another invade off the pushing bottom lane. They were able to get inside. No more blue buff there. And Olleh, after they take that, he rotates up top and looks for the Grubs. This would even it up, a nice even 3-on-3 on the Grubs. And so there's not going to be any extra exciting split push shenanigans later on with those Void Mites spawning, but really nice stuff here from FlyQuest, playing off of both sides of their pressure.
Yeah. It's been a decently proactive game from both sides. Obviously, a lot of attention towards that bottom lane of Tactical and Olleh from Inspired, but Armao has been paying his dues and trying to get them back into this game. They might look for another move here in the mid lane against Jensen, but Inspired floating on over from the last Grub, not revealing how many he took quite yet, and just making sure that Jensen is safe here. The flash from Olleh, but he goes into the stealth of his Shroud, and he dodges out on potential setup from Olleh.
Yeah, all you need to do is grab 2 to deny the extra Void Mite spawning, so just grabs the 2, job done there, the blocking on the Grubs, and then rotate back over to cover.
You know, at the start of this game, Kobe, we talked about how, Immortals preseason power rankings at 8th place, but they've been able to pull off surprise upsets. Past 4 games so far, win against Cloud9, win against NRG, loss against Dignitas and 100 Thieves. They're able to tango with some of the best that we have, but obviously there are still things that are figuring out, but it's way better than where everyone else expected them to be.
And even if you go 2 further back than that, it's 1 win and 1 loss where they lost the TL and they beat Shopify Rebellion. So it has been a lot of split weeks for Immortals, win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1. But that is, to your point, way better than people expected from this team. They have been able to fight in so many of these scenarios. Very impressed, though, at the possibilities of still trying to turn it around, considering the early game. Still think the most impactful move, single move in the game so far was the bottom side early invade and the complete zoning of tactical early on. He's also gone for the new static shiv here with the Twisted Fate, which is just looking at the minion pushing. Much cheaper, but just for pushing out minions for Twisted Fate. Also really nice because he does have the loaded dice, so we'll see if this does pay dividends and if they can get their split push game style going, because Immortals, it is pretty hard to play a map-wide composition when you start the game out with a deficit.
Yeah. Jensen's in a bad spot here. Tactical is going to use the gate to try and give them vision. Gold card right on top. There's the point-and-click CC train. No way for Jensen to escape that one. And even though that was very exciting from our AD Twisted Fate, I regret to inform you all that we actually lost the race to first Twisted Fate AD carry. It was picked in the LGL earlier this morning. However, this is the first ever TF AD carry in a major region, but not quite the first.
Yeah, nice little update there. Everyone was on the edge of their seat. They're like, oh, really? Really? Is it the first one? Stats update, though. LJL, congratulations. Honestly, though, they did still lose out on the push on bottom side. They did get Jensen, flash down on Jensen, too, so maybe Immortals can do something to follow up and pressure him there. They do have that Vi-Taliyah combination that we've been looking for, and they even threw in the extra ingredients. Maokai and Twisted Fate for good measure, but that was 4 players all sent mid for the kill. So you do give up a lot when you all in for these types of plays. We'll see though for Immortals. Obviously this comp functions really well if you can get the outer towers down. That's where you really get to shine with having the extra global of an AD carry Twisted Fate and a Taliyah on your team. Because then you're constantly trying to push out these waves. You've got the static shiv doing work for tactical, and you push the wave first, then look for your move. Push the wave first, then look for your collapse and your pick. And you want to constantly rinse and repeat that cycle instead of just going for straight 5-on-5s, because your pick off potential is just so strong.
And I kind of actually like what Armao has done for his first item, because normally a lot of Vis have gone more of a durable build with a Black Cleaver Rush, but he's gone for Triforce, and I imagine that he just needs to bring that extra little burst and oomph to any pick plays between him, Mask, or Tactical, because most of the time, Taliyah Burst might be enough, but Twisted Fate Burst might not be there yet in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, also when you see your bottom lane get zoned off of like 3-4 waves early on, you're like, well, I think we might need another damage source.
True. Good adaptation.
Our Twisted Fate's going to take a while to farm back into this one. Tactical's trying his best, but so Armao picks up a little bit of slack there too. So indexes, like you say, much more heavily into the DPS route. Trinity Force with the extra attack speeds too. We'll see if they can make good use of it. Because again, the best sorts of plays here for this Immortal squad is looking for the picks. And once again, they've done the vision work. They've cleared out this river, so they get to roam between the mid lane here and bottom lane undetected.
Tactical pushing or just soaking up this wave by himself, but any time that you see Mass disappear from lane, you have to wonder where he is going. And thankfully for Busio and Massu, they're able to push in this wave safely. No harm, no foul. As we continue on, we're about 16 and a half minutes into the game. Only a 1,000 gold advantage for the side of FlyQuest. Nothing really to run away with the game with. And as you already mentioned, Kobe, the difficult thing for FlyQuest as they move into further and further stages of the game, anyone that's pushing up on these side lanes is going to be in heavy threat from pretty much the Avengers coming from Immortals with all these globals.
All right, well, they're grouping up first here for FlyQuest. They retake vision around this dragon spawn preemptively. Nicely done there. They're even drawing out some of these saplings, walk close to the brush to aggro it, pull it out, try and remove them, try and clear as many as you can out before. Almost able to get the handshake into blast cone angle. Olleh's barely got enough time to move over to the side, so he doesn't get put into danger, but it looks like Castle split push continues on top side while FlyQuest have complete control here over the dragon. I like this call from Immortals. It's just dragon number 2 for either side. You know, whoever gets it isn't going to be super close to Dragon Soul or any big power spike for them, so they want to open up the map. They want to get that top turret instead.
Weaver's Wall going to try to cut off this Rift Herald, but it still makes the charge all the same. FlyQuest will take themselves that tower. The Dragon has spawned as well. This is the third one of the game, and we are in Ocean Soul territory. FlyQuest have prio from both mid lane and bot lane. No way that Immortals can realistically contest this.
Yep, so Castle just finishes up that top tower. They do lose out on all of their defenses here, so we'll see if they can get these pick plays off the ground in the mid game, or if FlyQuest are just going to be that unstoppable force moving forward. It is worth noting with the new Stride Breaker on the patch as well, Inspired opting for that build. Even though the Kraken Slayer buffs caused a lot of solo queue Viegos to really love rushing for Kraken Slayer Viego. That thing is feels very, very nice to build right now.
Yeah.
A little bit more tanky and has the new cleave on the Stride Breaker here for this instance though, and level 11 as well. Just getting some extra health with the Ruby Crystals. Trying to set himself up, just be around long enough so he can get his reset plays with the rest of the team, since Azir and Kalista will be able to handle most of the DPS.
Yeah, because you're really limited on terms of hard engage from the side of FlyQuest, so you're depending on Inspired and Bwipo to be the first ones to step up, soak a lot more damage. Can't really get that done on a more volatile build like the Kraken Slayer. It'll be Pog, but you know, Inspired's making sure that he's playing for the team, as FlyQuest did drop their game yesterday against Shopify Rebellion in quite an upset from them, and FlyQuest seems to be hammering down and ensuring that it does not happen the same way against Immortals.
Okay, to pick or not to pick? Can they make it happen? Vision doing a lot of work here, FlyQuest. As long as they don't expose anybody off too far in a side lane, then they should be able to use their numbers to their advantage. Looks like everybody though from Immortals looking top at Jensen. Flashes are all at the ready for FlyQuest members though, so if you go for that pick for Immortals, you better make it quick. Rest of the team is there, and they could buy enough time for them to collapse.
20 minutes has come and by. The Baron Nashor has spawned, and Immortals not really in a position to safely wrestle vision control quite yet, as the rest of FlyQuest are starting to redeploy back on the map. I imagine that while the Dragon still has another couple minutes before it spawns, that FlyQuest can realistically play for this Baron. They have the Viego, they have the Azir, they have this Kalista as well to quickly burst it down or force Immortals to play their hand.
Well, Tactical's gonna hold his hand close to his chest right now, trying to push out quickly with his static shiv. Ultimate is still at the ready for the pop if they are able to get anybody out of position at the moment. Threatening around the Baron, and with the second item, Rapid Fire, you've got everything necessary to operate Twisted Fate towards the mid game. You can push minion waves very quickly, and you can land the long-range stun with your gold card.
Multi-lane camp shows up as we get Bwipo already setting up this wave for success on the bottom side of the map. Has teleport available if he wants to be the first one to get over to the Baron's side. Castle is going to try to interrupt. Has no idea. Was looking for a pretty good guess, but Bwipo gets his chance to reset right now. And Immortals still trying to wrestle control back, but with the vision line that has already been set up advantageously for FlyQuest, it is putting the pressure on Immortals and making sure that they cannot step further past this mid lane line.
We've got the standoff.
It's so tense.
Not willing to make the move, not willing to pull the trigger here without complete information. And everybody holding on to their cooldowns here, so looks like we will wait until you get that other dragon pop up on the other side. FlyQuest have been pretty defensive here. Nobody really going across the halfway point, and when either Jensen or Massu are pushing up pretty far to farm, the entire team hovers by them in the river to make sure when Immortals go for their pick play that FlyQuest will be able to defend it. Bwipo's fine, he's a different case, you know, that's Udyr.
Yep.
he can run around forever, so as long as the rest of the team plays in this group of 4 to protect the Jensen farming and the Massu farming, they should be able to just wait out these timers, wait for next dragon, and then force Immortals to really make a call. When are you going to make your stand? When are you going to actually go for your big play? And
at this moment, Immortals are really depending on Mask and Armao to really bring the damage, because you know, while tactical high utility build, as you already called it out, pushing these waves fast and having the rapid fire cannon for the extended gold card range, I don't know how much realistic DPS that Twisted Fate is going to be able to do.
Less than Kalista.
Yeah.
Less than a Rage Blade Bork Kalista. That is for sure.
Inspired might just get on top of him, but Armao is there to hover just to make sure that he's fine. They're just catching the wave here. Olleh is also matching as well, and Tactical could join at a moment's notice with the gate. FlyQuest, every time they're hovering and collapsing, looking for a potential pick, they have to respect the offset chance that Immortals look for the all-in play with these globals. But Bwipo, because of the prio that he gained on the bottom side of the map, Udyr does a lot of max HP damage and can burn down this dragon while the rest of Immortals have no idea it's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this play from FlyQuest. They don't have to do anything crazy here. They can be conservative with their play, wait for these objective timers, not extend any target out here for Immortals to pick up, and then FlyQuest will just slowly march their way towards the Dragon Soul, towards the win of a team fight.
It's definitely been so tense though, like still 2,000 gold advantage, but FlyQuest are making all the right macro decisions, just taking things strategically one step at a time away from Immortals as we get ready potentially for another setup now around the Baron.
I mean, it's gonna get even more difficult for Immortals. If they aren't able to pick anyone off, then you're gonna have to fight your way through this monstrosity of an Udyr that, correctly so, you know, Bwipo rushed the Frozen Heart. The attack speed aura does so much work versus this Immortals team. He's going to be a very difficult problem to deal with, and it should be difficult for Immortals to really kill both carries. Like, maybe you can pull your combo off on one of them, but once you've spent everything here with your Vi Taliyah combination, then it feels like FlyQuest would be able to just run over the remainder of the team fight. And that's why we're seeing this trepidatious play. If you make the mistake now, if Immortals make one more mistake, the game kind of just goes the way of FlyQuest. They can annihilate objectives afterwards. They've got great DPS for Baron.
I think Bwipo just spotted Armao here, so that's the call for FlyQuest to immediately start burning down this Baron. Busio might be in a bad spot. He doesn't flash over the wall, but he gets in range to Fate's call thanks to Massu burning him over. 2,000 HP. The secure comes from FlyQuest. Here comes the Avengers. Immortals trying to collapse on in. Weaver's Well already cuts off their escape route. Bwipo's trying to deal with Armao on the backside, and he's chunking him out, but Castle's already found Busio on in the back. The rest of FlyQuest have to keep them at bay. Good Emperor's Divide from Jensen. Holds the line against Immortals, as now Massu, it's all up to him and Inspired to look for the reset. Here it comes! Heartbreaker 1 flashes away. He draws. It's a gold card. Looks for the stun in the castle. Reset again. Another Heartbreaker. And Massu cleans up the last one. FlyQuest completely destroy Immortals.
FlyQuest run them over. They're not going to wait around for the Dragon Soul. They burn down the Baron. And Busio sacrifices his life for the greater good of the team. Here's another look. He does flash early, and then he gets Fate's called back to the rest of the team. But FlyQuest are able to rend out the Baron, smite it through here for Inspired, and Bwipo just annihilates Armao down on the bottom side of the map. So even though they get the kill onto Busio and the extra 4 members of Immortals are trying to rush down FlyQuest, with the Azir ultimate, they buy enough time for Bwipo to finish off his kill onto Armao, and then Bwipo also picks up the second one there onto the Maokai, and the rest of the squad can just turn the numbers at that point.
All relieved smiles we saw for the past 5-6 minutes of what this game's outcome was going to be like, but surely now this seems to be FlyQuest's game with a solid 4,000 gold advantage and much on their side. So we're going to ask chat, who do you think is the best player on FlyQuest? They have by far been one of the most dominant teams we've had in this spring split. I'm curious for your thoughts.
Yeah, in fact, if they win this game, they will be the most dominant, and they will be the sole owners of that first place that Immortals, or that 100 Thieves really wanted to share with them. So FlyQuest here, I'm very curious to see what chat will say. This game, I feel like Inspired has had such an amazing game. Maybe it's a little bit unfair. Bwipo did a lot of work, but top laners are underappreciated, and people could say, he's just on Udyr, you know, and he's up there being annoying. He took the whole tower by himself. He ran through the team. But I could see people chalking that up to the champion. Meanwhile, we are going to get the siege
Nice knockup from Castle, but doesn't get much done. Olleh throws out the ultimate to look for the AoE root, but Bwipo, like the proud dad he is on FlyQuest, guards the rest of his younger players behind him as the rest of Immortals just desperately throw out whatever spells they can get to look for another pick. But Busio's holding the line against Tactical as they make short work of this inhibitor tower. Jensen's working on the next one with Massu. Bwipo once again holding the line and guarding the rest of FlyQuest's backline. Castle tries to make his advancement forward, but Inspired's been marking Armao this whole time on the left side as well. Armao, does he want to commit here? The gate gives vision of all 5 members here to give Immortals exactly all the information they need. But even with that information, they know that there's no way to win this fight.
I've got some information for you. FlyQuest is smashing you.
Darn.
What can we do with this information? Well, Dragon's coming up. Dragon's Soul, a potential. Never mind. Bwipo's just going to run at your face.
He's burning them down. Tactical trying to do as much damage as he can. It's not enough. Teleport comes in from Mask as they're going to make potentially one last Hail Mary for this Dragon Soul that has just spawned. Inspired is beelining seemingly towards the Dragon first, and the rest of Immortals are trying to get into the pit.
They've got to make a play now. This is their only hope for Immortals.
Olleh is able to dash on through with the Twist Advance to the Rift or the Scuttle Crab. Bwipo makes his front advancements first. Here comes Castle, cease and desist right into Massu. They look for the rookie. Castle tries to does everything he can. Tactical's hitting one card after the other. Inspired's able to chase them out. Massu falls. Huge knockup. Multiple bounce outs. What the hell is going on in this fight? Inspired is looking for the resets as well. Can he be able to clean up as he flies right onto the Mask? Castle and Tactical, can they clean this one up? It's so close, but here comes Inspired. It was a last-ditch effort, but Inspired made a name on this champion in EU, and it shows why he is so damn good on Viego.
The Quadra kill for Inspired. Let me take a guess at chat's vote. Inspired winning the
Pretty good odds there.
Really big stuff for FlyQuest, though. This is your #1 LCS squad.
FlyQuest soaring to sole possession of first place at the end of week 4. And it is Bwipo that wins the chat vote. Very nicely done. As I called it too early, I thought they were going to look for the end of the game, but Immortals are able to hold maybe for one last time.
Bwipo solo took his own tower on top side. He ran through the Baron fight there. Even when they had picked off Busio, he was a monster, a beast on this Udyr. So nice call from chat this time around. I think my jungle bias would still say Inspired, but
another Hail Mary. I respect it from Immortals. I mean, you got to try something. He cannot just passively lose this game. Castle teleports in, but the rest of FlyQuest are there to assist. Gold card comes out from onto Bwipo. Oh, cease and desist right into Massu. He tries to get away, but Armao is forced to flash backwards. Here comes Inspired looking for the Heartbreaker to try and close the distance here. Meanwhile, Bwipo is just 1v4ing the rest of Immortals. You cannot kill this man. Olleh falls, and here comes the rest of FlyQuest ready to collapse. Tactical tries to pop the gate, but he's not porting anywhere except back to the fountain on a gray screen. Triple kill for Jensen as the rest of FlyQuest just rout the remainder of Immortals. Quadra for him. And let's try this one more time. FlyQuest march into the base to soar to first place in the LCS.
Everybody's getting Quadras on FlyQuest, and they're gonna get the dub in the LCS.
We're gonna pat the KDA too. Oh my goodness, guys, relax, finish the game. I love the LCS, man. This season's been awesome. FlyQuest, congrats on the win. 7-3 or 7? No. How many wins? What's the score record right now? It's 7 and something. 7-2. Sole possession of first place. Sorry, 100 Thieves. I made a tweet earlier saying they are tied for first place. That didn't last long. That aged like moldy bread. But you know what? FlyQuest, the most dominant team we have in the LCS right now.
And it's a really fun team to watch. You know, the combination whenever you have these young players in the bottom lane with the veterans that people know, those household names of Inspired and Bwipo and Jensen coming back. The amalgamation on the Rift is beautiful, and this FlyQuest